My definition of enhanced advertising ethics is doing the right things as we present advertising to consumers and as we engage in business dealings with our partners or our clients. In regard to our interaction with consumers, do the right thing has three commitments. First, our ads and public relations must be truthful. Hard to be ethical if we're not telling the truth. This is heavily regulated by the government. And you need to know, first of all, to be truthful, the Federal Trade Commission will require a company to have a reasonable basis for its advertising claims. And second, very important, they will require material disclosures so that consumers are not misled as to the content of the advertisement so that it's properly qualified. There have been a number of recent cases about this. In one such case, the agency professionals actually tweeted across the country about the great way in which their client's product worked. The problem was, from the FTC's perspective, they never disclosed that they were paid by the client to do so. This is a good example of material disclosure. The second requirement of doing the right thing for the consumer is where we rise a little bit above the law in ethics. Certain audiences, such as children, certain products, such as alcoholic beverages, must have advertising that is treating those customers fairly. It has to be done more carefully. With children, we're talking about 12 and under, they don't have the cognitive abilities yet or the experience we have as adults. It's more difficult for them to understand they're being advertised to. FTC and our self-regulation group, Children's Advertising Review Unit, look very carefully to make sure there's not deception here. For example, children play a lot of video games online, oftentimes with the company's product. And cases have been brought where it was determined they were actually making a claim for the product with the children. In regard to alcoholic beverages, the beer industry, the distilled spirits industry, wine industry, all have voluntary codes that they follow to make sure that where they place the ads is really mostly for adults and not children. Now, the third area is really one of not offending our client, not offending the people to whom we are directing the ads, the consumer. For example, violence in advertising, violence against women in advertising, stereotyping by gender or race are areas in which we have to be very careful not to offend consumers. I think there have been a lot of progress in this area. For example, General Mills in the last 2 Super Bowls has showed an interracial family. And also, I've just seen research recently where 68% of the women said they were really attracted by ads that brought people together in situations across racial lines. Now, when we talk about doing the right thing in business transactions, we just have to remember transparency. We have to make sure our clients understand the rebates that we receive in the agency world for placing ads, incentives we may get from publishers, and any kind of the business relationships that the client needs to know about. That's being done more, but there was a big crisis on this really last year. Most recently, the Association of National Advertisers has said that 60% of agencies are now giving the information to clients that they need. In this case, transparency builds trust.